Today we're talking about the Eyemik 135mm f1.8, a very affordable and fast telephoto lens. This lens is known under various names, so don't be surprised if it looks familiar, but more on that later. As always in my videos, we're less concerned with the photo quality of the lenses and more focused on their cinematic use. At the time this video was made, this lens cost around €180, which is only a fraction of what you'd pay for other fast tele lenses. Let's take a look at a few examples. Here we see the location of the wide shot from which it was filmed, and now with the 135mm, as you can see we are already getting fairly close. The quality when shooting wide open at this wide shot is relatively poor. The image is quite soft, and there's a lot of chromatic aberration. Stopping down to f2.8 significantly increases the sharpness, and stopping down further to f4 makes the image even better and really usable for this case. However, the real strength of this lens can be seen in portraits and close-ups. The bokeh is extremely soft and almost homogeneous, beautifully isolating objects in the foreground. Chromatic aberration is still present here, which adds more character to the image. However, there will still be some softness when shooting wide open with these vintage lenses. During my tests I encountered some problems with backlit scenes where the image appeared low in contrast, so I recommend using a lens hood. Thanks to its high light sensitivity, this lens is also excellent for nighttime shooting. I conducted this test at night, using only available light and shooting in slow motion. Depending on the camera you use, you might encounter some noise issues. The light output is still good enough, and the bokeh at this focal length is quite large, producing a typical bubble bokeh effect found in vintage lenses. Now on to the history of the lens. This lens was manufactured by Mitake from around 1977 to 1982. It was a low-budget lens that was rebranded and sold worldwide under various names, like for example Porst. As for the technology, like most vintage lenses, this lens is entirely manual and does not have autofocus. Filming with this lens requires a tripod or a very sturdy gimbal. At around 833 grams, this lens is quite heavy. When used with a gimbal like the RS2, it can be quite challenging to keep stable. However, I managed to get some relatively stable shots despite the high focal length. The lens is not only heavy but also quite large, with a filter front of 82mm, meaning you'll need a Log-ND filter. This lens frequently comes with the M42 mount, which can be easily adapted to most mirrorless digital cameras, such as the EF mount. In conclusion, while the lens may have poor image quality when used for wide shots at f1.8, it creates a unique vintage look that can be desirable. As a portrait lens, it is quite usable. Anyone looking to experiment with fast and affordable lenses would do well with this one. Comparing this to similar telephoto lenses with an f1.8 aperture, you'd have to spend a lot more money. That's it for our exploration of vintage lenses for now. Until next time, stay creative.